Well, we did it. YouTube, we did it. Twitch quickly added at the last minute. We're up to $10.17. That's $1,017.69 raised so far for charity. So I did say when I got to 1,000, I would wear the Eevee onesie. There we go. Flick your ears back and forth. I flick my ears back and forth. I flick my ears back and forth. That's how you do it, right? It's really hard to sit down on this tail, by the way. It's like a properly stuffed. Hey, Terrace Python, welcome back then. The kitty is a little bit confused. She's sitting there. She's like, what the hell's going on? So where did I get my onesie? I think it was an Etsy Steel Hero. It was an Etsy. Like, there's a store that does, like, Pokemon stuff on Etsy. Yukero cosplay. Totally do a Yukero cosplay. How does it feel to be the player instead of the GM? I'm really enjoying it. Like, Splat's a really good GM. And it's a little bit annoying sometimes to use the newer rules and stuff with Goblin, but me and, like, Splat have been talking about it. And Fifth Reaper, thank you very much. Tip Train, choo-choo. Managed to, like, figure out some of the more, like, intricacies of it, and it's working really well. I'm really enjoying the character. The combo of Cleric and Bard, while not the most powerful in the world, really good for healing. Hey, thank you, Rich Ferret. Eevee onesie is, like, really strong thematically. I really like it. Oh, Doreed gave me a 15-bit tip for Thunderstone. I mean, how much do Thunderstones cost in the Viridian shop? Is it the Viridian? Viridian. They're like $1,000. I guess technically this could be for Thunderstone, but it's gonna go to charity. See, this could be my Thunderstone like fund. Will I do a series on Total Warhammer? I didn't really like it, Draco, and also it had issues when I bought it initially because I didn't get a code because I don't know, Sega are a bit weird about trying to get codes with them sometimes. And then I bought it, and it didn't perform particularly well. Like, my system's pretty good, but it just wouldn't do it. I don't know why, and quite frankly, I didn't like the game very much anyway. It's taken away a lot of the strategy and the building stuff, and kind of gone, here's an army, fight with this. It's like, I'm not that interested, I'm more interested in the strategy stuff, which it's, like, I still think the best was probably, like, Medieval 2, maybe Rome 2. No, not Rome 2. Rome 2 is terrible. Medieval 2, or Rome. City Robo, first tip master race, and of course, rounding up. 10:22. Full screen face cam. We should try that. Let me see. Boop. Let's put me behind. There we go. Of course, I'm still on here twice, but that's fine. After this, I'm watching your Deathwing video on YouTube. Thank you, Slaying Hurdle. That's the one thing I was like slightly late streaming tonight because I was doing that video. Annoyingly, it didn't autosave when I, because I recorded it and went halfway through and went, right, I'll end it here and then I'll record the rest later. And it always autosaves. It didn't autosave anywhere, so I have to restart that mission, record, play up till when I recorded, and then record from there. It's going to be really annoying. Price the E, 4 times the Eevee. How are you finding Astroneer? Terrace Python, you know, from the concept itself, I think I'd get a bit stale of it by now. Like, I've played 5 hours. I played a couple of hours yesterday as well. But actually, no. I actually really enjoyed it. Just doing inane things like making a ridiculous tractor trailer and driving that around. Yeah. I could go for a long while doing that. Going to another planet, setting up another base. Particular planet that's really, like, inhospitable. Really fun. It actually was good. I mean, I'll probably get bored of it after maybe... I get bored of games a lot quicker these days that aren't like super depth strategy games or whatever. I'd probably get bored of it after maybe 14 hours. Most people would get a lot more than that. So that'd be quite good. And it's still, yeah, it's still an alpha, like really early alpha, so there's still a lot more to come. And if there is more to come, I don't know what they'll do with it. Like, my danger is I worry that they'd add too much to it, and it would be too, like EU4 is now for me. EU4 has just got so many systems, and a lot of people are like, oh, but extra stuff is cool. And I'm like, yeah, extra stuff is cool. But when you have extra systems that don't synergize, and they replicate existing mechanics, like they're going to get rid of, or they're probably getting rid of, in EU4, was it seamen or manpower, whatever, for basically for ships, I can't remember what it's called. Like naval ratings, whatever it's called. And you also have manpower. Why do you have two mechanics? You should just call it manpower and have one mechanic, which there was originally. And then they went, you know, we'll have a separate one for sailors. Why? Why do you have sailors and manpower? That makes no sense. Historically, it doesn't make any sense. You just press ganged whoever. If you want to conscript someone to the army, you conscript them. If you want to press gang someone onto a ship, roughly the same people. I mean, obviously not totally the same people, but in terms of strategic overview, in terms of running a country, totally the same people. Will I ever continue XCOM 2, Polar Bear? Possibly. I've been debating it, but there's a lot of things I need to cover. A lot of really good games I haven't covered at all. XCOM 2 is still like one of my games of the year, probably in my top 10. Definitely in my top 10, let's be honest. Probably top 5. I mean, it's Hearts of Iron at 1. And then there's stuff like Stellaris, XCOM 2, probably Duskers. Duskers I really did like. I haven't played enough of it, but what I have played was so good and the mechanics worked so well that I really, really like Duskers. If there was an EU the game, what would it be? Probably... I'd like it to be a strategy. It would probably be a comedy. I haven't seen the new RunWorld update yet, Wassam. I'm debating doing a series on it, but I've got too many things on at the moment. It's tempting, but I'll have to look at the update and see. What was my favorite marathon stream? XCOM. XCOM's a really good marathon stream. We got like a load of new subs during it and a really good community, and we had a constantly good community vibe throughout. Like, the community was really strong throughout, and it was really fun to do that. Any new games coming soon? A couple here and there. Nothing like I've got like pegged down on my board. Dawn of War 3, Halo Wars 2. No, actually I do have those on my board. Huh. My board actually has stuff on it. Yeah, there we go. Dawn of War 3, Halo Wars 2, End of Space 2 when it isn't so L3. Will I play From the Depths again? It depends what they do with it. It's got way too complicated now, way too many different mechanics, all of which replicate existing content. A bit like EU4, like I said, at this stage. And it's so complicated to get back into. And the performance isn't great. That as a game that takes me like 24 hours to build a ship, most of which happens off screen, that's a lot of effort that I could be doing other games, and like games that I haven't done on my channel, like Astroneer. Or, you know, this would be, what, a charity stream that lasted 5.5 hours? I could do 4 of these? $4,000 for charity? Or I could do 1 building episode from the depths. At the end of the day, I'm just not going to play From the Depths if it's not as fun. And the way it's become more complicated, especially with the bugs still being self-evident, I'm afraid not. I still like it as a game. It's just I wouldn't play it for the channel, and I don't have any spare time. If I was not a YouTuber, I might actually play it in my spare time, because it'd be fun to dive into occasionally. Any hopes for the next Hearts of Iron 4 expansion? Corco? Difficult choice. Difficult. I don't know what I'd expand on, really. Hearts of Iron 4 has a lot of stuff covered. Obviously, you'd want new countries to be fleshed out more. I don't actually know. Yeah, I'd be tempted to play Factorio. I played it a little bit on stream one time. Maybe. Am I planning on recording Halo Wars 2? Yeah, probably. Is any good? I mean, I played a lot of Halo Wars 1 on console, and I really love that game because it worked as a strategy game on console, and it really worked kind of well. And I got reasonably okay at it, a point where me and my friend used to like go on it all the time and just went into groups and stuff, and we got to the point where we were just so good with Warthog Rush that we had to stop using it because it was just abusive. Like, it wasn't fun to win anymore. I think we won something like 5 or 6 games in a row with Warthog Rush and just went, you know what, this just isn't fun. Let's stop doing it. But there were some good tricks we picked up. Like, on one of the Halo War 1 maps, it was a 3v3. If you're 3... quickly got to the mining locations, and the back base was Covenant, which was often me, and I got to the like upgrade locations and took them over. Then I could build like tier 3 units without having to upgrade to tier 3, so I knocked the cost off. The 2 people down below give you resources. You could build a Scarab in about 7 minutes. So I would like early spam Scarab on that map, and it was amazing. It's so funny to just walk across the map with Scarab and know that everyone on the opposing team is currently going, what the fuck? They have a Scarab? How do they have a Scarab? It's 7 minutes into the game. And I'm like, I have a Scarab. It's just amusing. Much like watching Eevee, you really need to go to bed. Hunter Delta 15, you are right. I will be going to bed in like 5 minutes. And by bed, I mean probably more work. But work needs to be done. Sure, go to bed. Julius Horatio Valentine for cosplay stream to compete with Cassius. Morph! That's not his name. It's Julius Horatio Argaren Valentine the First. Close. And no, I didn't know that name in full for like the first 8 streams, but having had it on paper in front of me and saying it enough, it is now burned into my psyche. Julius Horatio Argaren Valentine the First. It could have been worse. I could have made it longer. Am I going to do War Thunder again? Maybe. I tried to go back in it recently, and I sucked. I just sucked really bad. I was just like... Unless I have, like, a week off or something, and I decide to play War Thunder and get good at it again. And by good, I mean mediocre. Yeah. I did have some really good footage that I had about a year ago that I never used because I sucked. But it was so funny because I was like, all right, if I go over to this island, I can shoot them from the island and stuff. And I was, like, commentating it for YouTube at the time. So I was like, there's a little bit of like water here, but I can probably ford that. Like, it was maybe like 4 meters wide. I was like, well, that's going to be really shallow. And I went in and went, because apparently it was like 10 meters deep or whatever. What's my favorite game? I can't ever decide that. Like, that question's not going to happen. What game have I sunk the most hours into? KSP or Minecraft? Which is probably true for a lot of people. Doesn't the name having the first on the end imply there's a second? Sweet Orange Bunny, it implies there could be a second. There isn't a second currently, but he's a new noble. He's only the first of his line, etc. He's the first one to get the charter for his ship. So he's really going for that whole, right, I'm going to try for the grandiose thing. He's trying the grandiose thing harder than most traders would. How much bank does Captain Julius Horatio have? Jonathan Moon, honestly, it doesn't matter. Unless you're literally playing Rogue Trader versus Rogue Trader or something. They have so much. It doesn't matter. The numbers are so ridiculously astronomical. Like, they could own chunks of planets. Or, in fact, yeah, depending on the planet, several planets. And it wouldn't matter, because they have so much money that it is actually just a scale that we cannot conceptualize. Like, I haven't thought of how much an object that expensive or even close to that expensive would be in money. I would have to work that out. And then I'd have to work out, like, how many of those he has. Like, the number is in the trillions of thrones, probably. We need to get fresh revenge for Dax. Last episode, Dax was actually really, really fine. Like, I played Dax kind of terrible. I cancelled my own concentration spell, I cast a concentration spell, which was stupid of me. But I didn't do very much of the combat, which is fine. That's my job. My job is in combat just to sit behind and let Mormont and stuff do stuff. I did use a scroll and kill 2 things in 1 turn. I wasn't going to use that scroll until I saw things were going dire for Nosson, and I was like, look, I have to do this. Ideally, I would have kept that and then unleashed it on like a big, big bad, not 2 mooks. What's the best game I've ever recorded on my channel? I have no idea. Honestly. Really, like, there's so many good games. Like, I like Astroneer, but KSP was really good. Hearts of Iron I still really enjoy, but am I biased because I had Hearts of Iron recently? Probably. There's a lot of really good games out there. I just started Hearts of Iron 4 today. You got some tips. It's very confusing. Holla Holla Sunrise Rebel. Honestly, make sure you do the tutorial, and then make sure you watch like the first few episodes of my Let's Play, but make sure you watch them really, really intently. Like at some point, I will do a Let's Play where I say, look, this is going to be a tutorial Let's Play. It's going to be a Let's Play where I play the first 6 episodes, and then probably just stop. And I will talk through every decision. Like I won't deliberately go in a tutorial manner and be like, this is an element, this is an element, this is an element. I will literally play it, but I will go very, very slowly. Because the problem with doing a tutorial is if you write a proper tutorial and stuff, it's really helpful. But as soon as they change the game, throws that completely out of whack. Whereas if you're playing the game and tutorializing it as you go, at least the same gist is there, and you get my explanation of why I'm doing certain things. I really want to do that at some stage, because Hearts of Iron is a game that you really do need it for. And it's also easier for me to do something like that than to do a full-out, just flat tutorial where you write everything out and it becomes invalid. That's why I haven't done any for, like, Paradox games, because they change things and they become invalid straight up. I'm going to play some of the older games I enjoyed. Maybe. Like Theme Hospital, maybe. Like Rollercoaster Tycoon, maybe. But then there's Planet Coaster Remote, which is similar, more modern. Whereas Theme Hospital, no one's done it. At least not anyway good. Favorite show ever last year? Favorite show ever? There's way too many good shows. That's really hard. Again, like, it depends on the mood. Or depends on what I've overwatched. Last year? Favorite show last year? I don't know. Stranger Things is pretty cool, but there were a lot of cool series. I don't know. It's really hard. I'm not good at deciding what's the best, because I like to have a few, depending on what you want at the time. Do I play with Victoria 2? No, I just never got into Victoria 2 because I go in and go, I do not have time to learn this. Sadly. That said, I found time to learn Hearts of Iron 4, so, which is not as complicated. Favorite food? Really? We're going to ask me favorite food? I have so many favorites. Mostly, I don't care about food that much. I prefer certain foods, sure. But it really depends on what I'm feeling at the time. Because my stomach varies on what it likes. Like, my digestive tract is just like, sometimes I don't want to eat something. Sometimes I want to eat this. Or sometimes, no, that will make me ill. But it doesn't tell me that until I've eaten it. Oh, The Expanse. Explosive Danish. Yeah, favorite show in the last year for me, The Expanse. Expanse was really good. Actually, it's got to be a really strong contender for my favorite show of the year. Expanse. Stranger Things is good, but The Expanse is really, really good. And I do like Sci-Fi. The Expanse was really good. Not quite Firefly for me, but really good. I've seen a few people go, you know, that's like a Firefly-esque show that's so good. I'm like, I can see what you mean, but Firefly. I mean, it had the comedy element, The Expanse doesn't, and maybe I prefer that. Aurora 4X is really good. Am I, what was it, just Aurora 4X question mark? Am I going to go back to it? Maybe. So much effort needs to go into that to play it and to replay it and stuff. And it's a very niche audience. I'd like to. But again, that's something that happens maybe if there's downtime, like there's not many games I want to cover. Or if I'm just feeling like I want to go and play that kind of game. Gaming laptop suggestions, duct tape. I actually don't have a laptop, and by don't have a laptop I mean I have a laptop and it's about 8 years old and I never use it, and it's broken as hell in that well, it needs to be plugged into work because the battery's dead basically, and it takes like 20 minutes to boot. So basically I don't use it. Best Chaos God? Zeech. I mean, everyone's gonna go Malal. Okay, if we discount Malal, Zeech. What do I think of D&D 5e as opposed to previous editions? I've never played a previous edition. I know some of them. Just, I know them. I know over them. I know some of the mechanics. I've never played them, though. Or known them fully in depth. D&D 5, I love because it is just so simple. Everything is really, really slick and buttery. And honestly, apart from a few niche edge rules, I know all the rules in my head. Some of them I'm a bit like, I think that is the case. And if that comes up on like roll for it, I go check. I don't say. But I know pretty much all the rules in my head. And I really, really like it because it's just easy to bam, 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 bam. That's the rule. You don't have to do like Shadowrun. Also, everything is in the books. In terms of rules and stuff, everything's in the main book. Or Dungeon Master's book for the Dungeon Master or optionals. Done. You want character option, like, for more characters and creation and stuff? Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and Volo. Volo's Monster Manual. Bam. 2 extra ones, but they do just that. You want monsters as a DM? Go get the Monster Manual. Unlike something like Shadowrun, where it's got a little bit of everything, but in different books, and you can never find out what it's in. And they don't bother having, like, some sort of compilation website or anything to be able to search for something. And that's the point. I start to just go, I just want to quit. I need to keep so much in my brain. You need to make it life, or you just can't keep up with Shadowrun, which is a downside. It's not like they help with contents tables or anything, like some of them don't even have contents tables. I am 27 potato tomatoes. I am a bit warm. Basically, I'm going to overheat and then quit. And I was going to go 5 minutes ago, but maybe I'll go 5 minutes more. But I'm definitely feeling the heat now. Shadowrun is a simple rule. Just roll a handful of d6 for anything you want to do. Pretty much, but there are so many roll d6 for this, then this, then this, then this. Like, it can be a little bit... it's very full of dice rolling, which is fine. Opposed dice rolling is nice. I like opposed dice rolling. But there is something to be said for D&D's rule of if there is extra rolls involved in a combat, there shouldn't be. Don't make extra rolls happen. Certainly not all the time. Sometimes optional attacks, but not all the time. That was basically what they designed D&D 5th edition around. Minimal dice rolling, and it works beautifully. Hunter Delta. Frankly, younger than I thought. Thank you. You're saying I look old. Hunter Delta. Lovecraft and roll for it in the future? I need to actually read some proper Lovecraft stuff. Like, I haven't read any, like, proper, like, basically, what's it called? The book. That. But I need to actually read it. Maybe I'll take it over Christmas. I think we're starting to run out of questions. I'm saying you act overly mature. Ooh, nice save there, Hunter Delta. Bye, Slang Hurdle. Go enjoy Deathwing. Times the Rollfoot crew forced to take the plot in unexpected directions. Well, I'll be honest, crashing a van through the armed compound gates directly into the center of said armed compound was certainly unexpected. I wouldn't say it was advised in any way. Yeah, they basically, the way I write campaigns, especially after the experience with Roll for It, is I write them as a series of connected nodes. I don't write how they are connected. Unless it's something like I want people to figure something out or clues. In which case you need 3 clues for every clue that they should find. And that way, they should find them by themselves without any hints. That's the rule in GNM, by the way. 3 clues for every clue that you expect them to need. So if they need 3 pieces of information, make there be 9. You might think they're obvious, but that's because you designed it. Or if you want them to just have 1 link, make sure there's 3. Have I heard of the show Humans? Yes, I have. But I haven't watched it. Hello, Sunrise Rebel. Since you have to go soon, habe a good night then. Ich habe eine gute Nacht. Guten Nacht? Guten Nacht. Pardon me. A narrated Let's Play. I have no idea what that is. Sounds interesting. Favorite roleplay series you've been a part of? I mean, not counting Roll for It, I GM'd a Shadowrun campaign about 2 or 3 years ago. That was pretty fun. It resulted in some really unexpected stuff from the players. And it was interesting, and put it that way. How long for E tote bags? A while. Oh, right. And gute Nacht, I'm going to go off. YouTube, thank you very much for coming and checking this out. And if you want to go support any of the charities involved, UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, which is Medicine Sans Frontières, and of course the Red Cross, do go to the website. I'll try and remember to put the links down below. But yes, stay shiny, YouTube.